with baseball heating up, and that includes the Toledo Mud Hens. And here to talk Mud Hens with us, we welcome in Brad Woznicki. Of course, he's been filling in for Matt Melzek as the voice of the Mud Hens downtown with Jim Weber. And Brad, we've got the Hens home this week. They were just down in Columbus in a series against the Clippers in which they scored a lot of runs, but they gave up a lot more runs, losing 5 of 6 to Columbus.
Yes, this was part of back-to-back big series for the Toledo Mud Hens. You finished out the previous series against the Nashville Sounds, the top team in the International League, only to follow up with Columbus, who is right now right behind the Sounds, and gave up 48 runs over 6 games. Mud Hens pitching, relievers especially, have been very good. Going into that Nashville series, you were looking at 2 teams that were top 3 in the International League in ERA. Now the Mud Hens have fallen out of the top 5 in ERA with the amount of runs that they've given up. Note a guy like Derek Law, who was so good throughout the first really couple of months of the season. Derek Law now has given up about 6 earned runs over his last 3 out of 4 outings. He's been the closer. Guy like Nolan Blackwood has had a couple of struggles as of late. So the relievers, you're just seeing not quite getting it done for the Mud Hens late in ball games, especially in the series against Columbus.
One of the bright spots for the Hens hitter-wise has been Trace Thompson. Of course, he's got some major league experience. He's maybe tabbed as one of those quadruple A guys, but he has been hitting the ball very well in this short stint with the Hens so far.
Well, the last series had to be a little bit of fun for Trace Thompson, who you'll remember played with Columbus back in 2019. He's kind of bounced around a little bit. Last season, he was with Iowa. A couple of seasons ago, he was with Charlotte. And so he goes back to Columbus, a familiar park there, gets 10 hits, got some home runs in there. It's a guy that's going to be in that middle part of the order for the Mud Hens that you need to continue to see production from. And let's not forget, Trace Thompson, he's having some fun right now, not only with his offense, but the offense that his brother Clay Thompson is putting up in the NBA Finals.
Part of the nature of AAA baseball, you've got guys going up, guys coming down. Let's talk about one of the guys who just recently went up to Detroit, Cody Clemens, making his major league debut this past weekend. An interesting trip to Columbus for Cody, as he only got to Bowling Green before he got the phone call, said, no, go back north up 75, we need you in Detroit.
Cody Clemens, I mean, you feel good for the guy, because how many times do you see where you have a father who was a big-time player, had a ton of success in the major leagues, and you're just trying to follow in his footsteps? Cody Clemens trying to do it with his bat. And before he got called up to Detroit, he had a couple of games where he really struggled at the plate, so he didn't exactly have momentum going up to Detroit, and he's still looking for his first hit in a Tigers uniform. But you just hope for the best for a guy that really carried the Mud Hens with his offense throughout the first month and a half of the season, and he's a guy that you can use anywhere on the infield or the outfield.
A couple of guys with the Hens that are hoping not to be in Toledo much longer on rehab assignments. Of course, Riley Green, the hot prospect center fielder, broke his foot in spring training. He's been with Toledo for a couple of games. Same with Austin Meadows, the right fielder.
Hey, you've seen Riley Green for about 6 games now, and his bat's starting to get going. It's still going to continue to take time for him just to get back to really playing shape. And Austin Meadows, it's tough to tell just exactly how long he's going to be down for, how long this rehab is going to continue with it being vertigo. So there's a lot of unknowns there for him. And you'll talk about Austin Meadows as a guy that was looked at as a great addition to the Tigers lineup coming up after 2021, where he had 106 RBIs with the Tampa Bay Rays. Can he get back up there? How quickly will that be? We will see. And then let's also note Ryan Kreidler, a guy that we have not seen in a week. That's one of the big middle infielders for the Mud Hens.
Of course, as you mentioned, Toledo played very well at home a couple weeks ago against Nashville. Iowa coming to town this week. Special night tomorrow. We'll have Hens and Hounds night as the Hens are home this week.
Yeah, the Iowa Cubs right now, a team that is right around the same situation that the Mud Hens are in the standings, in the bottom half of the International League West Division. They have a lot of similarities as far as the numbers that they put up at the plate, as well as the amount of runs that they have driven in. The Hens need this series. They need to take care of business, because Iowa is very much in that same situation that the Mud Hens are in, where because of what is going on with the Tigers up in the major leagues, Iowa sending a lot of guys to Chicago. Both teams have guys going up and down pretty regularly.
7:05 starts all this week for the next 5 nights. 2:05 start on Sunday. Of course, you can see all those games live right here on BCSN and BCSN 2. Brad, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.